Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are digging into what looks like a massive investment opportunity. We're talking about India's huge push into renewable energy. So let's just get right into it. Okay, but before we jump in, we gotta get this out of the way. This is super important. This is purely for your information. It's an educational explainer to help you understand the trends and the companies involved. It is definitely not financial advice. So, use this as a starting point for your own homework.
All right, let's kick things off with this number, because honestly, it's the heart of the entire story. 500 gigawatts. Now, to put that into perspective, just 1 gigawatt can power hundreds of thousands of homes. So, yeah, this isn't just a number, it represents a truly monumental shift in the global energy game.
So, that 500 gigawatts, that is India's official target for non-fossil fuel energy capacity, and they're aiming to hit it by 2030. Now look, this isn't some slow, gradual change. This is a full-on, government-backed national priority. It's why so many analysts are calling it an investment tsunami.
And what's so fascinating here is that it's not just one thing making this happen. It's like a perfect storm of factors driving this wave forward. You've got these aggressive government policies, huge investments in infrastructure, and at the same time, the cost of solar is just plummeting. The real takeaway? It's this powerful convergence, policy, tech, and straight-up economics, all pushing in the exact same direction. It's a huge deal.
Okay, so when you have billions, and I mean billions of dollars about to pour into a sector, the big question is, right, where are the real opportunities? How do you even begin to navigate this green gold rush?
And see, the opportunity here goes way beyond just building more solar panels or wind turbines. You got to think about the entire ecosystem. I mean, think about the massive need for EV charging stations everywhere. And the grid itself. It needs crucial upgrades to handle all this new, sometimes fluctuating energy. And then there's battery storage, which is what you need to make it all reliable, 24/7.
But let's be real. An opportunity this big, it's never going to be a straight line up. It's super important to keep your eyes open for the potential hurdles. We're talking about things like regulatory delays, which can happen. The sheer complexity of actually building these massive projects, that's a challenge. And of course, global supply chain bottlenecks. These are all very real risks you got to monitor.
Okay, so now let's put some names to this trend. Let's look at some of the corporate titans, the big players who are really on the front lines of this whole transformation.
First up, we have Adani Green Energy. These guys are India's largest pure-play renewable energy company. And pure-play just means this is all they do. They are 100% focused on renewables. They are a massive player here.
And just look at these numbers. This really shows you their ambition. They aren't just talking about growing. They're aiming for absolutely explosive growth. I mean, they're planning to more than triple their capacity by 2030. And you can see that reflected in the financial forecasts for their revenue and earnings. It's all about that intense focus on expansion.
All right, next, let's talk about Tata Power. Now, this is a different beast altogether. They're a legacy company, an integrated energy giant, and they're making a very deliberate, very significant pivot into renewables.
So what makes them different is their diversified approach. See, Tata Power isn't just generating renewable power. They're building out a balanced portfolio, sure, but they're also investing heavily in those other critical areas we mentioned, like EV charging and smart grid solutions. And smart grids, by the way, are all about using data to manage electricity flow way more efficiently and reliably. It's a really smart move.
And rounding out our top three, we have Renewable. This is another top-tier producer, and they've got a really strong, diverse pipeline of projects already in the works.
What makes Renewable stand out is their real focus on innovation, especially their big push into energy storage. And this is absolutely critical. Why? Because battery storage solves the biggest problem with solar and wind, the fact that the sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. Storage is the key to a stable, modern, green grid.
Okay, we're about to jump into strategy in just a second. But hey, if this breakdown is helping you connect the dots and make sense of all this, could you do me a quick favor? Just take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. It honestly helps us a ton and lets us make more explainers just like this one.
All right, so you've seen the big picture, you've met the major players, but how could you, as a retail investor, actually translate all this info into a potential strategy as we look ahead to 2026?
Well, one potential framework might look something like this, a simple three-step approach. First, blend. You could mix the stability you get from the large cap leaders with the growth potential of some of the more innovative mid caps. Second, vet. Really dig into the leadership teams. Do they have a strong track record of actually getting these huge, complex projects done? That experience is key. And third, monitor. You have to stay on top of policy updates and, of course, the company's earnings reports.
And look, I can't stress this enough. Diversification is so important. You really don't want to put all your eggs in just the solar basket, right? Spreading your exposure across solar, wind, maybe even hydro, that can be a really smart way to manage the risks that are specific to any one of those segments.
You know, if you boil down all the analysis, there's one key takeaway that really stands out. And it's this. The sheer scale of India's energy transition, backed by both strong economics and national policy, presents what a lot of people think could be a rare, generational, long-term opportunity. And as we start to wrap this up, I have to circle back to what we said at the very beginning. Every investment involves risk. This explainer is meant to be a guide to the landscape, to give you the lay of the land, but it is absolutely not a substitute for doing your own thorough research and due diligence. You gotta do the work. So, that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As one of the biggest, most defining investment themes of this decade continues to unfold, what role might India's green revolution play in your own long-term investment vision?
If you want to keep digging deeper, you can find more deep dives and investment theses over on our website at repleteequities.com. Hey, thanks so much for joining us for this Explainers, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.